7:42 with the morning show. Rollin here with you. We want to welcome to the program a little early, but I suspected that we would be on this path. That's okay, though. Richard Pryor Jr. Good morning. How are you?
Good morning. How are you?
Well, I'm not doing too bad. Not doing too bad. Everybody knows that name, Richard Pryor, but, I don't know that I knew up until this week that there was a junior, you, running around in this world, and you've been running around in this world since, 1962, I guess, huh?
Yeah, been running around quite a while. Now, so long that my bones are old. Yeah.
Well, listen, obviously coming along with that name in life, and you are Richard Pryor's son, when you look back at this point in your life, has that been a hindrance or a help in where you are?
It's my life has been mostly a hindrance. I mean, there's been some good things about it, but, when you have to deal with in life and not knowing who your friends are and all those things and the pitfalls of people liking you, are they liking you because of your name and all those things that go through with that, the baggage that you have to carry with that, it's definitely been more of a negative thing than a positive thing.
Well,
I embrace it now in life.
Let's step through your life real quick. So, you were born, like I said, 62, if I saw the bio correctly. And from also in the bio, you were raised more or less by your grandparents because your dad was out on the road trying to earn a living, correct?
Yeah, I was raised by my mother and my mother's parents mainly. I did spend time on my dad's side with his grandmother, which was my great-grandmother Marie. That's where the prostitution and the brothels and the bootlegging came into play for that side of the family. So I had a mixture of both, but, when you're coming up in that time, you're thinking that that's normal in your life, until you get older and you look back, you say, wait, everybody doesn't live like this.
Well, let's stop right there for a second, because obviously that piques a little bit of interest. Bootlegging and brothels, expand a little bit on what that section and what age were you when that was around your life?
Oh, it was always around my life from the time I can remember. I remember being, I think, probably around 5 years old. I remember, people coming to my aunt's house and my great aunt's house, and I remember me selling them bottles of bootleg and stuff like that. So it was a thing that was normal to me. And then when I'm older, as a young teenager and everything, sitting around playing cards with girls, and you're playing a deck of hands, and they're like, hold that hand, I got to go upstairs and take care of business. And they go upstairs and, take care of a John, and then come back down and we finish the card game.
Interesting.
So things that I thought was normal. I thought everybody lived like that.
So that was all through your growing up stage and your formative years. Did you get through school okay? How was school for you?
I loved school. I loved everything but math. But I actually loved school. I think because it was a thing of, I've always been a creative person, so I think that part of me really enjoyed it, history and all those kind of things. I did have issues and stuff like that when I got older and things like that with identifying who I was, because that's when my dad became even more popular. So I had to deal with those issues, and I remember actually at one time we had a guy during high school was out of state and everything, was supposedly coming to see me. So I remember the police were involved and all those kind of things. I had to deal with that. And then just not knowing who your friends were. That's what the toughest thing as far as growing up, not knowing if people were genuine and really loved you and cared for you because of who you were, or was it because of your dad?
Let me ask you this. We heard all your extended family that helped raise you. Was your dad involved in your life? Was Richard Pryor, your dad, involved in your life at all as you grew?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I spent all my summers, I would spend with him. The holidays, I would spend with him. I'd actually, when he was on the road touring, I would actually go on the road and tour with him and stay in the hotels with, his team and all those kind of things, and would introduce him on stage. When he would do film work, several films a year like Bingo Long, The Traveling All-Stars, and Motor Kings, and when he did Grease Lightning, I was on the film sets of those, Bust and Loose. So I was always around. When I was older, I worked on some of the film, but when I was younger, it was being there, just being a kid, playing on set and enjoying watching the filming and stuff and getting to meet actors and stars. Because I never looked at my dad like a star, but everyone else was a huge star to me.
Well, let me ask you, as you were in that kind of life surrounding you, did it inspire you? Did you, Richard Pryor Jr., did you want to step into the limelight and take the lead on stage in any portion of that?
Well, I think what it is, I think it's something I look back now, it's something that's always been in my life, because I performed when I was even younger. I've always performed, so it's something that I've always done. So even when I was, 8, 9, 10 years old, I was writing plays and different things like that. And throughout my life and everything now, even being able to do those things and to sing and act and be on stage, it's just a part of who I am. It's my DNA. And
you put this all down into a book called In a Pryor Life. Is that correct?
Yes, correct, which is to be released on March the 1st.
All right, March 1st is coming out there. Did life get away from you at all? Did it get out of control where it was, where you needed help getting things back in line?
Oh, totally out of control. With the drugs and whether it was trying to emulate my father or trying to seek comfort in a bottle and in cocaine or something, and putting chemicals in my body. It was a thing of escaping and and trying not to feel and not to hurt. And I learned later in life, within this last few years in life and everything, sometimes you have to just go through the pain in order to grow and to be a better person.
Well, Richard, was there a point in life that something happened that you can put the mark and say, hey, this is where I decided to turn things around, or somebody jumped in to help me turn things around?
Well, I think within I think it was a thing where I was just tired. Being tired of being tired. Being tired of hurting and suffering, of allowing those things to consume you, those things to dictate how you lived. That's not living. And I wanted to truly live, and I wanted to perform. And in order to do those things, I had to be the best I could be, me. And in order to do that, I had to go through a process of changing and of becoming a better person. And I think right now, as far as now in my life, is my spiritual journey, my faith with God. Those are things that have helped me immensely, and it's kept me on the right path and knowing why I'm doing what I'm doing.
All right. Well, Richard, one last question. What do you hope somebody that reads your book, In a Pryor Life, gets out of it?
I hope that if someone reads it who is struggling, who's going through some pain and some darkness and some sorrow and pitfalls, they may be going through addiction or relationships or whatever they're in that's keeping them bound, that they're able to read my book and see that, hey, this person went through some things. This person went through some tough things. This person was able to step out of it and look back and not allow that to dictate them anymore to how they were going to live their life. They were able to see the light at the end of the tunnel and see that they could be a better person, they could be a stronger person, and then they could move forward in life and not allow those things to consume them any longer. All
right, Richard, we're going to leave it with that positive note there. Richard Pryor Jr., thank you very much for joining us on the program. Glad to hear life is going the right direction for you. In a Pryor Life comes out March 1st, and maybe sometime we'll chat again.
Thank you very much. I'd be glad to be back on.
All right, thanks. Have a good day. Bye-bye.
Thank you.